gold, gear, ability materials, trading materials, all things that we are limited on. I am Dogbert. I have hoarded these materials. I have built the character, and together we shall find out, is this character worth it? Hello and welcome to Worth It, where I review a character after building up and playing them. I usually use DD3, level 75, gear 14. Some characters, if I think they're going to be really good, I will build them up to level 80, gear 15, and take them into DD4. I don't think I'll be taking anybody to DD5 anytime soon. So let's take a look at Squirrel Girl as today's character. As we go right into her pros, she heals and clears negative effects. This is using her special, and she does it to the entire team regardless of tag. It just happens. Clearing negative effects is great. The heal is also great because it is based off of her max hit points. She can also apply heal, block, and offense down to all enemies with her ultimate. Offense down is always a great debuff to put out there, plus the heal block, especially if you're taking her to, say, DD5. If you knows DD5 at all, the city nodes have tons of healers, so that heal block would be incredibly valuable. And she can also apply offense down for basic, too. The highest speed bar of the enemy will get that offense down, possibly, depending on if they resist it, of course. But it's an interesting and unique mechanic. Of course, she can be used for Rogue Scourge event, being a young Avenger. So we think she'll be good in that. We actually don't know what Rogue Scourge event looks like, so we don't know yet, officially. She is easy to farm. She is available on a node to farm, so that makes her easy to get and easy to star up. And she also has Drain, and she gives the Young Avengers, or her team, Drain as well, as long as with more health. It's 25% Drain, 25% more health. That is incredibly useful to have extra healing on top of this. Her cons, her team is War Defense. That is always a con because you don't get to play War Defense teams, you just get to sit them there, and, well, that's it. Plus, now you're investing in a War Defense team. They don't really help you earn any kind of war credits, they just kind of sit there and do nothing. But the Young Avengers, I can say, are good in Cosmic Crucible, both on offense and defense, so that might increase their worth. She is expensive to gear. To go from gear 12 to gear 15 takes over 2,220 SBCs. On top of this, like if you're going from 14 to 15, you'll need 72 of the gear 15 pieces, and if you want to take her up to gear 16, it's going to take 72 pieces of bio gear over there as well. That is a high cost. 72 unique pieces of each of those mini uniques is quite high. Especially since it looks like we're coming into a biogear crunch, and if the rumors are true, with another horseman being bio, they are really coming after our biogear hard right now to get us to drain that out. The other con is she does not clear the heal block before healing outside of war, meaning if you have a heal block, you go and use that special, she'll clear the heal block, but she won't heal. There's actually a specific T4 you have to put on her to get her to actually clear the heal block before healing inside of war as well. So that's how we know that's how that works. There's also some questions that you might see come up about Squirrel Girl. Let's talk about those. Well, the first one we have to think about is, what is Rogue Scourge going to look like? We assume she's going to be good in the Scourge. We actually don't know, though. She could be terrible. We just don't know what that Scourge looks like. We can't say one way or the other with any certainty. Should you buy a 6 red star on her? No. Honestly, do not do that. Because you gotta look at it at the end of the day. Once Rogue Scourge's event comes and you have Rogue at 7 red stars, or 7 stars, sorry, I should say, not 7 red. What else are you going to do with her? She's going to be sitting on more defense. That's an awful lot of gold credits, unless you're really using her a lot in Cosmic Crucible, or you find some other use for her. I would not recommend it. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze, as they say. The other question is, okay, you really want to get Rogue. Is Rogue even going to be that important? The recent Blog correction to Rogue. We don't know how good she really is going to be. Her team is not looking very good with like 3 characters already looking like absolute junk. So how important is Rogue going to be on her own? Gambit looks good. We haven't really gotten our hands on him yet as of this recording. You never know when he'll come out, but we don't know. I think even in the short term, though, if Rogue is not useful, as soon as she comes out, like in other games other than Cosmic Crucible, I think she will be important along with all the Horsemen once Apocalypse comes out when we get that team officially. So, should you take her to DD3, 4, or 5? Answer is you're going to see in this video that I took her into DD3, level 75 gear 14, and she does incredibly well. I've had reports that she does incredibly well in DD5. I have never actually taken her to DD4. I haven't really heard anybody taking her to DD4. I think she is overall a good character and worth building to take into Dark Dimensions if you don't mind paying the expensive gear cost for her. And it is going to be bio gear. So we have a lot of bio characters you can bring into city nodes, which is where she is going to be useful. I mean, you're talking web warriors, who are your raid team, raid team, the reason bio raid team, I should say. The reason why I would always recommend taking a web warrior in is that they are the newest raid team. They're going to be around for a while, so whenever Doom 3, I guess, would be the next raid probably. You're probably going to need them more at Gear 16, where she's not going to be a part of that raid team. She's just going to kind of be on the side, most likely, just being part of war or something. So, and then you also have the symbiotes, who of course are made for Dark Dimension, but of course not really used anywhere else now. Then you have all the other city characters as well out there that you could take as well. You have to really balance out, and then you have to think about, okay, I take all this bio gear. What about global? What about cosmic? What about legendary? Is there characters there I would want to take? That maybe this would slow me down to get to those sections. Once I get to those sections, because now I'll be waiting for more bio gear. So those are all things. And overall, I think she is worth building. If you're building her right now, I wouldn't go beyond level 75 gear 14, unless you are absolutely set on taking her to DD4, DD5. But honestly, if you're building her for Rogue Scourge event, sit and wait. Hoard the resources. If she is good in Rogue Scourge event and you really want to get Rogue up higher, dump the resources then. Once you spend the resources, they are gone. But if you hoard them, you can always put them on somebody else later. And you can put them into her as well later. So with all this said, let's go and take a look at the video of her in DD3 and the team you see I actually use with her. You're going to see, well, this video is going to get reused a bit in my next Worth It's as well. Alright, so this is DD3 City. This is the start of DD3 City. As you can see, the team I have brought in here is actually the 3 A-Force characters: Jessica Jones, Nico Maru, Spider-Woman, Punisher, and Squirrel Girl. With the exception of Punisher, everybody is level 75 gear 14. Punisher is level 80 gear 15, though he is the weakest of them all because he has barely any red stars. And of course he's Punisher. So you see here, there's the Squirrel Girl doing her throwing the squirrel, which also applies that offense down if it hadn't killed the character. But I gotta say, once you watch this, you'll see that Squirrel Girl is probably the MVP of this team. With the A-Force characters doing surprisingly well, I need to make a video about each one of them. I've actually already made one about Jessica Jones, but I said she is very much worth building. And then you can see the ultimate from Squirrel Girl there, putting the offense down and ability, heal block, sorry, not ability block, heal blocks out there, which is good if there was a healer over there, but there isn't. Well, actually there is. I forgot, Shield Medic. I was actually surprised I was actually able to clear quite a bit of DD3 with this team. I was really surprised how well it would work. Which gives us hope that with the Scourge, it might not just be all one team, we might be looking at a hybrid. Spider Woman going off. There's Squirrel Girl again. There's that throw of the squirrel. The offense down did land on Coulson. For the most part, Squirrel Girl is pretty tanky, especially with this level. Not too much else to say. I mean, we're keeping Punisher alive, for God's sake. I do have Healer ISO 3 on Squirrel Girl, Blue ISO level 3, that is. So we do get some passive healing as well. And that clears out the first node pretty easily. Of course, it does get harder as we go on. You see, I get interrupted sometimes, and I have to click other things. But here we go with the second node of DD3 City. I'm applying Nico's ability there. So we work on this city node. Again, we're going to see some more Squirrel Girl. We're taking some damage this time. Here come all the squirrels. We're actually staying alive quite well just off of passive healing right now. That will change though. Punisher doing very little damage. We are getting buffed a little bit with Punisher, but he does give city hero characters more damage. Here we go, Squirrel Girl again. You can see the double hit. Yet again. Haven't really had to use our heal yet. Just kind of saving that for now. We really haven't had anything to really clear. She's not going to be the greatest damage dealer, but she's not meant to be. Be more of a healer, support, kit character. She does good damage when she does do some damage, though. So now we're starting to take a little bit more damage. Killmonger was pretty much dead. And we finally used the Squirrel Girl heal. As you can see, it cleared off the debuffs and did in fact heal us. You can see the team is doing quite well. I do end up losing Punisher. Can't remember if it's this node or the next node. I believe it's the next node I lose Punisher. And on the final node, I do bring in Miles, which I have to actually reset. I can never remember Spider-Woman's abilities. I do a reset on that final node. But this will give you an idea of how Squirrel Girl does. I mean, this team can clear 83, minus Punisher, put Miles in, who is going to be a level 81, gear 15, on the final node. You know they have to be pretty good. And Squirrel Girl, as you watch this video, I'm going to leave you here, just not too much more for me to say. As you'll see, I think she was the MVP of the team. Her constant heals, her heal block, plus the offense downs, incredibly nice. So with all this said, until next time everybody, enjoy the video.